Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today I am here to tell you I was right. Pokemon was hiding something. We now have seen the official booster pack image for Battle Region, and it does feature the first partner Pokemon from Legends Arceus. And as I've told you in previous videos, the time for avoiding spoilers is over. I'm sorry, it's been 3 weeks since the game officially released, and official images of these Pokemon were shared by Pokemon a couple of days ago. Now they're on the boost pack images and the cards. I honestly think at this stage, it is just one of those things. If you haven't seen them, you've been spoiled. I cannot imagine that anyone is actually seeing these for the first time in this video. If you are, and you didn't want to be spoiled, I'm sorry, but I do think we've gotten to the stage here where we are past the point of spoilers. I think it's fair to say. And I point out when I'm wrong, and I did that just yesterday. I told you how I predicted that collector's chests were going away forever, and then yesterday I showed you a new collector's chest, proving that I was, in fact, very much wrong when I said they were going away, but this one I got right. I told you that Pokemon had to be hiding something to not show us the booster pack image of Battle Region, and incidentally, we now know from the Chinese name, it is Battle Region, definitely not Battle Legion. So we called that one right, which is quite nice. And if they were going to be hiding something, it had to be spoilers from Legends Arceus. It was too early, really, for the legendaries, so it was going to be the first partner Pokemon, just like a Hisuian version of Rebel Clash. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what we've gone and seen. I, for one, am absolutely delighted. And we're going to be starting off today talking about Hisuian Decidueye, because, I don't know, Hisuian Decidueye looks cool. What do you want from me? Translations, of course, from the lovely Antoine Boulet, who at this stage is one of our very favourite people. So, of course, we start off with the Pokemon V here, and we've got 220 HP. It is a fighting-type Pokemon. Remember the different typings of these first partner Pokemon. Retreat cost of 2 is fine, I suppose. And weakness to Psychic, honestly not ideal, because of the whole Mew thing. Yeah, Mew's quite good if you haven't heard, so having a weakness to Mew, I can imagine, is less than an ideal scenario. But what we've got here is 1 fighting energy, and you search your deck for any 2 cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And I'm not going to go ahead and pretend that this is an absolutely phenomenal attack. It's not. It's not a phenomenal attack. What it is a really nice option turn 1 going second. Because you're not going to have evolved, you're not going to have enough energy on to really do these big attacks, so what you're basically left with here is, I'll just search for any 2 cards, put them into my hand, be ready to go next turn. Sure, there's every possibility your opponent is going to try and drop a Marnie. We know that, like, everyone's playing a playset of Marnie at the moment, and we know that Marnie's going to make you shuffle your hand and put it on the bottom of your deck, and that's the other thing to point out here. Marnie doesn't shuffle the cards back into your deck, it puts them on the bottom. So not only do you lose the cards that you searched from your hand, but they actually go to the bottom of your deck, making it less likely that you will be able to actually find that again in the future. So make no mistake about it, Marnie's going to be super annoying, and your opponent is going to be trying to play Marnie. That is absolutely going to be their goal here. Your opponent is going to want to drop a Marnie. But I don't think it's a reason to play the card. I think it's a handy bonus. And I think there are absolutely going to be plenty of games where you go second, search for any 2 cards, and that is going to give you everything you need to get rolling next turn. It is really nice as an option just to get you rolling, and I like it very much indeed. Then for a fighting and a double colourless, you do 100 damage, and it isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So any Pokemon that are trying to block attacks from basic Pokemon, anything that is trying to block Pokemon Vs, you will just go right through them and be good. Something like, we saw the Safeguard Miltank that's coming along in this particular set, which stops damage coming from Pokemon V. Yeah. You'll go through Miltank. It ain't going to stop you, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be hitting for weakness, which is kind of lovely. But it's not exactly an amazing thing. Like, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. I don't think anyone out here is arguing it's bad. I'm just arguing that it's fine. This is one of those attacks that I like to have the option of. I like to be able to have this just in case. My opponent gets a Duraludon V Max. I've got special energy attached. Their ability should stop me going through. But because I've got this effect of the attack that it goes through anything, I can go through their ability and hit them anyway. Again, it's not a reason to play the card, but it's really nice to have an option against those decks that would otherwise be blocking you. So we've got a really nice attack to help you get set up. Bonus, not a reason to play the card. And we got a really nice attack to go through anything that might be blocking you. Bonus, not a reason to play the card. Can the VSTAR give us a reason to play the card? Well, we go up to 270 HP, which is on the higher end of VSTAR, which is quite nice. And then we still got the same retreat cost, same weakness, all of that. And we gain 1 main attack. Fighting double colorless, 160 damage. You may discard up to 3 energy cards from your hand. And you deal 30 more for each card discarded in this way. Okay. It's alright. Depends how much energy you've got. Because the fact of the matter is, right, if you can draw into all of your energy, this is clearly redonk. This is clearly an absolutely phenomenal option. But there's that giant caveat of if you can draw into all of your energy. Because the fact of the matter is, right, discarding 3 energy from your hand and dealing an extra 90 damage, I don't think anyone's arguing that's bad. It turns into a 3 energy, 250 damage attack, which is enough to get any Pokemon V, and it is enough to get a bunch of V-Star, though, as you can see from Hisuian Decidueye, not all of them. Although do remember we've got Choice Bout coming in this set. Choice Bout does an extra 30 damage to Pokemon V, including V-Star and V-Max. So with a Choice Bout, then you would actually be doing 280, and we've yet to see a V-Star that is above 280. So this could potentially one-hit KO any Pokemon V-Star, which is clearly very nice. The problem is, there are a bunch of problems. When we look at the amount of damage you're doing, great. Hits key numbers, everyone's happy. But when we look at how we actually get there, it's kind of awkward. Because you've got to have the 3 energy cards in your hand, and you've got to discard them all. Now, firstly, if you're discarding 3 energy cards a turn, that means that a lot of energy is going to end up in your discard, and that is going to be a real pain trying to get it back. Although at this stage, if you are doing that, do please try and remind yourself about Volcarona V. For a single fire energy, you deal 20 damage for each basic energy of any type in your discard pile, and then shuffle them back into your deck. I do think it's kind of a given that if you are going to be playing Hisuian Decidueye here, you are going to want to be pairing it with a Volcarona V. That's quite a nice plan. The problem is, you've got to get all the energy into your hand, and that's going to be a pain. We've got plenty of ways to get energy, but we're talking about getting 3 energy in hand every turn, or up to 3 energy. That is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely a lot. Then, of course, we need to remind ourselves that it's also an attack that is for a fighting and 2 colorless energy. And that's very expensive. And sure, you can use double turbo energy, but then you're doing 20 less damage. So that 280 that we loved hitting, it's not quite so good. It's 260. It's not the same. You're kind of almost undoing that choice belt, which we don't want to do. Now, we do have that new item card, the one that is coming around in the Lucario V-Star deck, that gritty pickaxe. That's the one that lets you look at the top card of your deck. If it's a fighting energy, attach it to one of your bench. If it's not, you put it into your hand. So, basically draw a card. And that's cool, but again, it's awkward. Sure, we've got B, and B will absolutely work here. You discard the top 5 cards of your deck, and any energy cards you find, whether they're fighting or otherwise, get attached to one of your bench fighting Pokemon, and this is absolutely it's a fighting Pokemon. If you put it on your bench, it'll be a bench fighting Pokemon. But that again is super awkward. I don't like the options we've got for accelerating fighting energy nowadays. I don't like having to get the free energy in my hand. I think if you can solve both of those problems, this becomes a really nice attack. The problem is, I don't think we've got the cards in the format right now to consistently solve both of those problems. The good news is the VSTAR power is actually really nice. Once during your turn, you may use this ability, draw cards until you have 8 cards in hand. The problem is, I put this side by side with Arceus that just lets me search for any 2 cards, and I'm just like, I'd rather have Arceus. Don't get me wrong, there are times when searching any 2 cards aren't enough, you need more, but honestly, if you need 3 specific cards, you're going to get them drawing 8, and sometimes you will. But I still think we're in a little bit of an issue here, in that I just think Arceus's VSTAR power is better. I think drawing till you get 8 cards in hand is good. I think it's great for consistency. In the late game, it can get you what you need to win. In the early game, it can get you the cards you need to actually get rolling. It can be really useful to try and draw into those energy you need to do the extra damage. I love it. I just don't think it's as good as Arceus. And that's essentially where we are. There's nothing about this that makes me really want to play it. On the V, I like both attacks, in fact, but they're both bonuses, not reasons to play the card. I like this V-Star power, but that's a once per game thing, and I think there are better V-Star powers out there. And the main attack, as much potential as there is, and as well as it hits the numbers, I think the fact that you've got to get the fighting double colourless on, and then you've got to get the free energy in your hand, is just a little bit of a pain. And I know there are non-fighting ways to accelerate energy, but we want to be trying to stick to fighting where we can here, pretty obviously. So yeah, I'm giving this 3 Wassies. I still like the V-Star power, and I still think there's a lot of potential in the attack, but I think this one is going to end up being too awkward. But prove me wrong, people. I would love to be proved wrong. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.